Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Albany Selectmen's meeting of Albany of January 11th, 2023 at 5:34 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I got the jump on you.
Yes, you did. See, you're already in training. All right, new business. We have approval of the December 28th Selectmen meeting minutes, including one set of sealed non-public minutes. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of December 28th.
My second,
Discussion.
no discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approval of the non-public minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the non-public.
I'll second. Discussion.
No. No,
Okay.
sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approval of the January 11th consent file consisting of review and sign manifest in the amount of $10,555.50, $6,649.06, $6,124.70, and $6,395.86 to include payroll and accounts payable for 12/31, which there were two manifests, 1/4 and 1/11/2023. Review, discuss, and approve or deny residential building permit for a single-family home at map 6, lot 69. Review, discuss, and approve or deny veterans credit tax credit for map 3, lot 3, sublot 61. Oh, no. Now she did that twice. Map 3, lot 61, sublot 27.
Okay.
Motion?
I make a
please.
motion to approve the January 11th, 2023 consent file.
Discussion.
How about a second?
Second for discussion. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy.
It
Is that
wasn't in a question.
is that the same veterans tax we've been dealing with? Or is that-
It is not. That's a new one. And he did qualify.
Okay. All right. So it's accepted.
Yes.
So it is an approval of the
Okay.
veteran credit.
Yes.
Okay. I was looking for the approval.
And I think I would like to, can we do a sub?
We can do a sub.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the veterans credit for map 3, lot 61, sub lot 27.
Okay.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Now back to the original. Any further discussion on the consent file?
No.
Call to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Review, discuss, and approve and sign the 4-year contract for fire and EMS services with Conley Village Fire District.
Yeah.
So I found one little typo. Do you have it there, or is it over here? And it was really simple. It's a 4-year contract, so the number 4 was in parentheses, but the wording said 5. So it just needs a crossing out of the 5 and make it into a 4. And that was 3C. See?
I thought,
Town of Albany agrees to make payments for said services in the amount of $160 for 2023, $187 in 2024, $213,000 in 2025, and $240 in 2026. So 23, 24, 25, and 26.
and that was the negotiated price, negotiated
That's right. With the
cost that you.
so it was reduced. The commissioners accepted the reduction of $10,000 a year.
Good.
I wanted to note that too, that we did get a reduction.
We did get a $10,000 reduction for each year. Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yep. Let me just change that 5 years to 4. And I'm gonna initial that. Okay. Okay, next is review, discuss, and re-sign the appointment form for Morris West as a full voting member of the planning board. We actually voted on this in November. Morris asked for a revision in some of the wording, and Kelly reprinted it out per his request. And so I would recommend appointment for Morris West.
I second that.
Okay.
Any discussion
I
or
don't-
concern?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Can I, did we get a vote on the fire?
No.
Well, we
Not
already
Yeah.
voted in November.
So we're just,
We're just signing
Signing.
tonight.
Okay.
good.
So we're just signing that, okay.
And so we voted on the planning board member in 2022,
Okay.
November. She just dated it for today.
Yeah.
Because he was never formally sworn in.
Right.
Okay,
So we're all set on that too.
okay.
Review, discuss providing health and dental insurance coverage to appointed or elected officials through health trust at their cost. This has never happened before. In order to do so, we have to become administrators, and what an appointed or elected official, I don't think is worth the time and effort to take that initiative and be administrators and tracking all the financials. If you offer to one, you offer to everybody. And my vote would be no on this.
Can you clarify what it is? The offering dental to
So they
elected or appointed?
the board would have to vote to offer it, and my vote is no. To offer on their cost,
Okay,
not our cost.
Yeah.
But then we become administrators
Right.
and have to oversee all the financing of it.
Is that a motion or no?
I'll make a motion to vote no on offering health and dental insurance.
I'll second that.
More discussion?
yeah, I'm just wondering what spurred this. I mean, I guess it doesn't really
newly
matter.
appointed
but it's-
official
Okay. So they're just
needs
unaware
insurance.
that this is.
They're probably
very-
unaware of how much it actually costs, so
Right,
it
okay,
probably wouldn't be affordable anyways. But
Yeah.
I don't think we need to open a can of worms and start
right,
offering it and then having to account for
There'd be a lot of accounting.
policies.
right,
to
yeah.
There
it.
is.
There is, yeah.
It's just, we don't have the faculty to,
And then you
Right.
have to chase somebody down for
Right,
their
yeah.
payment.
I've never seen that before.
yeah.
You know, if somebody didn't pay, we're still responsible for the invoice.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, I deny as well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll just say, call to a vote. No.
No, yeah,
No.
Town administrator report. Our town administrator is not here tonight. She had an appointment that she needed to be at. Therefore, she is excused. She did ask us to review, discuss, and set a date for the budget public hearing on February 8th with an alternate date of Thursday, February 9th. Petition warrant articles are due February 7th. So really, if we're going to combine it with our regular meeting, that's the only option for me. We have to have the public hearing by February
I think it was 7th or 8th.
8th,
Yeah.
and 7 is 15, 16, 17th.
Those dates work.
Yeah,
So the public hearing will be on the February 8th, and the snow date or alternate date would be February 9th,
Yep.
which would be Thursday.
okay.
Do we want to start at 5:30 or 6? I would say we just start at 5:30 and
And go with that. 5:30.
Is this encompassing a meeting?
yes,
So we'll start our 5:30 regular meeting.
Or if you want to start our regular meeting at 5:30 and we can do the public hearing at 6.
That might be a better one.
Okay. Yeah.
6?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
good with
Yeah.
anything, so that works for me.
Her next question is if we're going to have it in the conference room with a big room. And I would prefer it to be in here based on past attendance.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
We got the chairs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 6 o'clock,
Yes.
conference room. All right. Review and discuss draft 2023 budget and warrant articles for discussion at the January 25th meeting. She says this can be taken under advisement, but you'll have to firm up everything, including voting on recommending or not recommending any money to warrant articles. The 125 meeting is the last one before the public hearing. I looked over the budget today. I'm thinking things are shaping up
Yeah.
pretty well. Along with the draft warrant, there's a few things to discuss there, but I don't think we need to make any decisions tonight
Okay.
unless you're looking at it and you think you want to add something to the warrant, a warrant article. I think I would like to add taking some money out of the building maintenance for the potential for the central AC and maybe some landscaping
Oh, okay.
on the
Right.
property.
We did talk about that.
I think that's the only other warrant article besides firming up the highway
Right.
because he needs 150. And I think it should come either 100 come from the capital reserve and 50 from unreserved fund balance, or nothing should come from taxation.
Mhm.
That's what the money is there
Right,
for, and then
yeah.
the capital reserve is partially to pay for our portion of Paso Conway Road, which is not happening too quickly, but Curtis feels pretty strongly that something has to be done this year to save the road.
Mhm.
Therefore, I think what we've been saving for, this is explicitly for that.
Mhm.
It's whether, take the full amount or tax some of it.
I don't know. We take the full amount.
I would agree to take, as long as it's in there and it's not gonna
Mhm.
break the bank,
Right.
take the full amount. That's what it's there for.
Mhm.
Again, it's something we can firm up and just kind of keep in the back
Yeah.
of your mind.
That's what we intend to do. We just got to get the numbers to work right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the warrants read right. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of getting the numbers
Yeah,
correct.
and then the petition warrant articles will be added to that as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you saw in the budget or something that
No.
kind of sparked any?
Not really, because
Please.
we've already went over them, and
Mhm.
the highway was the
Mhm.
big one. So,
Yeah. Usually
and
is.
that's fine. Yeah, and that's good.
Nothing was ever done for the cemeteries.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, I guess there was a request last minute, to increase that to $9,000. However, I believe that's another one where we have the capital reserve for the cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
And we did increase it,
Use it.
and we And
You
we
know,
did end up
anything
increasing it
additional
anyway.
should probably be removed.
Yeah.
From the capital reserve, which we can certainly
So use it.
put an
Yeah.
article, a warrant article on there.
Yeah. Good. But I thought when we went over the budget, we did increase the cemetery,
I think
The
it went up
line.
1,000 or
but it wasn't
something,
enough.
but the request is for 9,000.
Okay.
So I think while we're trying to tighten things up
Yeah.
so we can expend more on the sheriff's department,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense that money's sitting in the capital reserve for that use.
Right.
And at some
Yeah.
point, we need to refund these capital reserves.
But it's been going on every year.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody should be attending the improvement plan
Mhm.
meetings,
Mhm.
capital improvement plan meetings. And that's where we all say, okay, let's throw so much money into these every year. But I think now where some of this stuff is coming to the surface, that's what the money's there for.
Is that the planning board? That does the
Planning
CIP?
board, but all,
But anybody has input.
yeah,
but it's the
planning board
that-
oversees it. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as someone got an eye on it.
I would suggest if you think of something to just email Kelly.
Yep.
Next week, and then we can kind of get our feel for it the next meeting. tie it up.
Yeah.
And possibly if we have to have another work session, if we have to,
It'd be a short one, but we should have everything exact before we go into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we had to meet on like February 1, a week before,
Yep.
if we don't get everything
Yeah,
finished.
I mean, I imagine we will though. I mean, everything looks good.
It's pretty clean.
Yeah.
Our next meeting's on the January 25th.
Yeah.
So if we don't completely tie things up, if we meet on February 1st,
Mhm.
we could
That's
just
fine.
tie it up. If we can leave our schedules open for that, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it filled out and complete.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Okay.
All right. All righty then. That's that. Appointments. Meeting with Chairman Sean Wadsworth of the Planning Board. Review Planning Board 2023 proposed budget. And then we're going to meet with Kevin Tilton, who is sick and won't be here, but Sean is also on the Conservation Commission, and he wants to review the 2023 proposed budget. And we have the spreadsheets that Kelly gave us over the past 5 years that basically they've utilized 50% or less for each year. So,
Right.
So, okay.
well, I mean, we can move on to until they arrive. I'm not sure.
We can finish anything else up?
Old business, Chapel Historical Society. Town administrators emailed the town attorney for the next steps. Federal Land Access Program, there's nothing new there. Other business and board reports, the planning board did not meet for lack of agenda this past Monday. I couldn't attend anyways. I had a budget committee meeting in Conway. Is there anything else anybody wants to report on?
No, not here. No.
No.
Everything's good on
Highway.
NHDOT or?
Yeah, there's nothing going on. They set the next meeting for, and I can't make it, but I'll try to Zoom it. But, no, we gotta get, like we talked about last week, do a few things that are pressing before I really dive into, this road thing. Did you see what Rick Hyland, did he send you that, what he had mentioned in the meeting about possibly a way to lower the speed limit? I had it. I didn't
I
read it.
think he did.
Yeah. I forwarded that to Mark McConkey, and he hasn't gotten back to me. But I don't see how it'd be a great thing. But what it says is that in times of tourism, traffic, or something that is impeding our roads,
Yeah.
we, the selectmen, can lower the limit for a 4-month period out of 12 months. It doesn't sound right to
I
me.
would question that.
Yeah. And it's a very short bill, but I gotta look into it more. There's a lot going on there, as we know.
I just to note that because of our meeting with DOT and the outpouring of the public at that meeting, asking us to please do something by adding in an additional sheriff's patrol for 4 hours. That's going to cost us almost $16,000 in our budget. That is our response and what we can do now, because anything long-term is just not going to happen now. But this is something, and I noticed it last night. I was heading to Conway and there was a car on the side of the road and he was he was just sitting there. So they are patrolling Route 16.
Yeah, I have some.
And if anything helps, and that's the least we can do, we spend a little extra money there and we tighten up the rest of the budget to somehow offset it.
Mhm.
I don't think we can completely offset it, but we also have the opportunity, when we set the tax rate next year, to offset some of these costs with the unreserved fund balance. again, with creating these warrant articles and using the capital reserve funds, nothing's coming from taxation as well. So that's going to be a savings.
Mhm.
Now, on the flip side, we have the new contract with Conway Village Fire District with an increase of, I think it was $30,000 this year.
Yeah.
So it's a good year to kind of change things up
Mhm.
for now.
Mhm.
Any thoughts?
Well, I was wondering if when we do have the town meeting, if someone was going to address the NHDOT issue, and that's something you were
Yeah.
interested in.
Mhm. I'll have my answers, but I don't know if it's not
Yeah.
pertinent to the meeting. I don't think
It's
we're gonna.
not, but if the
It's-
questions are
yeah.
asked,
Mhm.
you know, you'll be the go-to guy.
Mhm.
So if you
Okay.
can have your information
Yeah.
ready and available.
Yeah.
And everybody should have filled out their surveys.
Mhm.
You know, everybody got a survey in their tax bill.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was postage paid, wasn't it, to go
It
back
was.
to DOT? No. Anyways, can't make it any easier
No,
for people
yeah.
to.
It is
To
what it is.
participate.
Yeah. Other than that, that's the only thing that I was thinking
Yeah.
needed to be
Yeah.
addressed
Yeah.
because it was a big,
Huge.
you know.
For little old Albany,
Yeah.
that was huge.
Yeah,
That
it's a
was
big
big.
thing.
How many we have? 50 people at least?
Yeah.
I
Everybody
still
was so
haven't-
emotional.
I
Yeah.
still haven't completely looked at the login list, but there were people that I wasn't aware of. You know,
People
so-
who are just on the border of Albany and
Yeah.
Madison and the other way, and it's just, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
If we can just, this is our little part,
Yeah.
you know, for $16,000,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah. I agree.
Anything else?
no.
One more thing that Kelly had emailed us about, and we got an email this morning about, we have not completed our local hazard mitigation program update, and the next meeting is going to be on Zoom on Wednesday, January 18th at 6 p.m. And I'm going to ask Kelly to put the Zoom link on our website so anybody who would like to join in, it helps us offset our grant match.
Okay.
So everybody who joins in, it creates money towards our match. So eventually, if enough people participate, Albany doesn't pay anything towards the update. And this has to be done in order to receive federal funds for any hazardous things that.
Not one of our meeting nights, is it? On a Wednesday?
It's
No.
No.
Good.
It's not.
No.
Good.
It's next week.
Yeah. It's
It's
just
Today's the
next
11th
week.
already.
Yeah. Our next
Yeah.
SB is the 25th.
Spring's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Spring.
Not close enough.
Like
Um,
it's so far away. It
It's-
feels like.
Spring next
I
week.
wish. I wish. Oh my gosh.
Why'd the bench come in?
So it's not out
Could
in the
we plan on
snow, or
doing
doesn't
that?
get plowed into, or
I was gonna say good idea.
I think that picture needs to go in the town report.
Yeah. Yes.
I haven't seen the picture. The three of us
I haven't either.
squished in there, but
Yeah. Yeah.
It may change our mind.
that was a good day.
We
Be
may
like,
change.
we'll be
It
part
may
of
not go in the
history.
book after we see the
Part of
picture.
history.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they took so many pictures.
They
There has to
really
be
did.
one good
Something,
one.
please.
Yeah.
There's Kathy with somebody's.
Yeah.
There is no correspondence. All right, anything else?
No.
No.
I think that's all I had as well.
Yeah.
Correspondence, there is none. Public comment, none. Just waiting for our appointments.
Did we have appointed times for people?
She didn't put times in. I would imagine
I
maybe
hear
she
people-
put 6.
I hear
think the town
people.
clerk's office.
Do they know to come in here? Should I go look and see who's out there?
But if it's one of the non-publics.
Yeah, it could be.
Sounds like a party.
They're having a good time. Yeah.
Let's see if we can
Yeesh.
join.
Yeah. Yeah, no time. Usually it's 6 o'clock, right? When we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
appointments.
Yeah, if we had a short agenda, then,
Yeah.
you know, I would say quarter of, but it's gonna be 6. Somebody just came in. We just moved too fast.
Oh, there's somebody.
Hey, Sean. We're all ready for you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Did you walk down here?
Pardon?
Did you walk down here?
It seems that way. Sorry about 5:45.
That's okay. Oh, is that, were you supposed to, you should have put a time on, so.
Oh, I thought she'd be here.
Oh,
She
she has an
needed a-
appointment.
Okay.
She's excused from our meeting tonight.
Yeah, I said 5:45ish, but
Okay.
kids,
Yeah,
sport
yeah,
ball.
well, get it.
So did she forward Kevin's
Yes.
budget and, yeah, okay.
So why don't we start with planning board?
Okay, as the planning board rep, or chair and representing tonight, just had the question for the select board about the change in proposed budget.
Anyone want to start or?
It was more that we were trying to prompt a explanation just so we can be clear on the increases.
Sure.
We were just given a number, we weren't really given a reason for it.
Okay.
So fire away if you wanna, why you need more. It's not that we don't wanna give it, it's just we need a reason to give it.
Select board rep Golding, you were present when we did the budget?
I was not.
No,
You were
that's
not.
right.
I was
You
not
were.
that meeting. I was not.
I watched the meeting and I know she weren't there, but,
So do you want my point of view or?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I might as well, yeah.
So many years ago, when there was like a try to have a revitalization of the planning board, and they started having work sessions and regular meetings. So the meetings were twice a month rather than just the one. And rather than 5 members, we realized it's a 7-member board. Therefore, it was budgeted for 7 members twice a month for the 12 months. Since then, as you know, things kind of filtered back to normal, if you want to say that. Still, the expense as compared to what's been budgeted over, I'll say the last 5 years, I think is what, maybe even 3 years, what Kelly gave us, has been expended an average of about 50%.
Yes.
So our point of view, and I'll say for the Conservation Commission as well, our point of view is, I believe you were there at the NHDOT meeting. What we're trying to do is expand our sheriff services, and without having a huge impact on the budget, and it's a small budget, I know. But if we can just tighten it up wherever we can in order to expend that money on an extra shift for the sheriff's department to patrol Route 16 without hiring our own police department, which we looked into many, many years, and it's just it's just too much. So with that, if you keep the proposed budget where the selectmen have voted to put it at, that doesn't mean if you had an extra meeting or you had something else that you can't overexpend that line.
Okay, how does that work?
You overexpend that line, as long as you don't overexpend your planning board budget or the Conservation Commission budget, you're fine. Even if you overspent that, if you know you're coming close, you come before the board and say, we're overspending our budget this year. We have the authority to move money within the budget. So if we didn't spend money in legal, we can take however much you need, move it from legal into your planning board budget to cover you. With those thoughts is why I'm thinking, let's lower that, tighten that up a little bit, and then we can put it towards the police coverage. That was the thinking behind each of the budgets. Does it cover the whole 16,000? No, but we're also looking in other areas as well.
If you had something you wanted to do, if you had a plan for something new this year and it had to be in there, we'd be all willing to fund that.
Yeah,
But
it's not to deny it, it's just
No.
saying, you haven't used it all along, so let's tighten it up so we can use it in other areas.
Thank you.
And the bottom line is the bottom line, like Kathy said, you can go to that bottom line. Overspending the line is more of a recommendation. You might
It's
have to explain it
actually-
if people say, why'd you overspend it? Well, we did this, and then it's okay. I mean, it's something you might have to explain,
Yeah.
but not in a bad way. We overspent it. As long as that bottom line stays intact.
And actually, it's like the town's responsibility not to overspend the total bottom line.
Yeah, so even if
So
yours
we have
goes-
the authority to move it all around. If some department isn't using, and we can certainly vote to move the money in if you need it.
It's our job to watch the money, and that's basically what we try to do. So.
I'm really good at it.
Agreed.
Yeah, you are. You just made the speech.
Agreed. Any other?
I don't have anything to add. I think you really summed it up.
If you want to do
need it,
something, tell us you
it
need
could
it.
be there.
Yeah.
Explain what you need it for, and it can be moved.
If
to
you
that
go over,
budget.
if you don't go over, you still have
Yeah.
you still have the limit.
Yeah.
I have a question on the converse. The way it has been, where there's been more budgeted than spent, the unspent money goes,
Unreserved fund balance.
so it doesn't go back to taxpayer.
So it goes into, let's call it a rainy day fund.
Well, it's not. Let's call it what it is.
It's the unreserved fund balance.
Yes.
And that means the selectmen have the authority to use that money to offset expenses.
For that budgeted year elsewhere.
No, any budgeted year.
Any
It
budget.
sits there.
So the Department of Revenue recommends that we retain an unreserved fund balance between 5 and 17% of the total budget of the town, the school, the county, all the taxes we pay. You add that up, and we keep retain that percentage in case we needed to overspend the budget. If something happened, emergency happened, we go to the DRA, Department of Revenue, and say, we have this emergency, we need to spend an extra $100,000. Do you have it in your unreserved fund balance? Yes, we do. Most likely, we would get permission.
So that's a line item in the budget.
Unreserved fund balance is not. That is part of our financial records. And when it comes time to set the tax rate, and we're seeing an increase of $1, we can take some of that unreserved fund balance and apply it as a credit to lower that tax rate.
Mhm.
You
And
try to
again,
keep that bottom
You want
number
to
there.
keep that, you want to
That's
keep,
a
Steady and,
What-
yeah,
what
consistent
I look at is
and low.
trying to keep it level.
Low and consistent.
Just keep it level. But that's the basic of it.
Yep.
And it's also so you're not taxed twice
Yes.
on an expense.
Yes. Okay. Say the name again, the what, unreserved? fund?
Unreserved fund balance.
Unreserved fund balance is fully funded or not?
I forget what we are at percentage.
Yeah, I kind of would have known that.
I,
But
and
it
I-
doesn't come up every year, it just accumulates.
That's right.
And you're just supposed to keep track of it and make sure that
You
it's
use
5 to 17%. You use it when needed and keep it at this.
Typically to lower a tax rate.
Yeah.
Typically,
Yeah.
but you can use it in a warrant article. So we're gonna raise and appropriate $10,000 for the planning board to rewrite their master plan. We're gonna take that $10,000 out of the unreserved fund balance, so it's not costing taxpayers anything.
Yes, yes. Or anything more than it
Right.
already has, because
Right.
it's already been tax
Right.
money.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And that way you're not double.
But that way, it's all in writing. The auditors do their thing and their reporting, and they'll calculate at the end of the year what the unreserved fund balance is.
Okay. So I have a few things to say, I guess,
Sure.
after the
No.
questions. So on the Conservation Commission side of it, I fully support Kevin's letter in that we did not vote. I missed the last meeting. I can't remember. I think the Conservation Commission probably did vote. It's probably in their minutes to support the budget as proposed as a Conservation Commission as a whole. The reason being, as Kevin's letter states, if we had a full board membership, which we're trying to do and we're trying to recruit, so if anyone wants to join the Conservation Commission or the Planning Board,
Please step up.
As always.
please let it be known. And if we had a full contingent, as we hope to or should, that's just the amount to fulfill 12 meetings a year with the full contingent of board members. So we hope to have that number of board members, and we hope to have that number of meetings. So therefore, that's the amount of money
Right.
for attendance. And then there's the separate amount of money that was for the forest plan, the forest management plan that Kevin read about. So you all read about that.
Yeah.
So very helpful. If that is funded, then we can go forward with the grant process to get basically half off of a forest management plan that's required by our agreement with the land trust. So Conservation Commission Chair Kevin, myself, and I believe the board as a whole supports the budget as presented by Conservation Commission.
I see two issues here. One's going to be the budget, and then one's going to be the forest management plan.
Two things, but they are related because forest
It's
management
part of
plan is a line item in the budget, or it's under operating expenses, I think.
So
I don't have it in front of me, obviously.
first of all, I would say the same thing I just said to you about planning board. Same thing. You could overspend that budget, and we can move money around. Second, and I think I would defer to Court Hansen to support this statement. When we bought the forest in 2009, 10, something like that, it wasn't a conservation commission at that time. It was a committee. And in order to raise and appropriate this money and get support for it,
That's all right.
it was
That's odd.
It was said at town meeting, it was said over and over and over again that not another penny would come from the town of Albany to support the forest. And Court was a part of it way back then, so I would hope that he would remember and support that.
Yeah.
On the other side, established was a conservation fund. And there was a timber cut. And part of that timber cut, I believe, paid for the land. There's still over $9,000 in that conservation fund. Now, in order to, I would suggest that it comes out of the conservation fund to pay for the forest management plan. That's why the conservation fund is there. However, I'm not sure if it has to go through a warrant article or just a vote of the Conservation Commission. And again, I would refer to Court and maybe Rob, if Rob can answer that, because there was some legalities in there.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
that would cover that expense without having to come from taxation.
I see.
Now, in 2 weeks
And
will be
going
our last
forward.
meeting before we get this
This is
warrant.
the last. This is the last. meeting.
Next meeting is the last meeting, so some work has
2
to be,
Wednesdays from now.
yeah,
Okay.
some work has to be done in there to figure out the legalities of using that money. Does it have to be a warrant article? Can you just remove it? I don't know those answers,
Mhm.
because
I don't either.
did you know about the conservation fund?
I have
existence?
heard of this. Yes. I didn't know the balance offhand.
Yeah.
And it is, well, who has access to these are the questions. right?
So the treasurer has custody of the conservation fund.
And it's the Conservation Commission that can authorize the spending of it.
That's what I don't legally
Right,
know. Does it have to be a warrant article? I don't know.
Yes.
And again, I would defer to Court and maybe Rob, if Rob can answer it, because he was part of the legalities of establishing it.
Okay, so we have one more meeting window to sort
that
that
was
part of it out.
Also, in one of the town reports.
Okay.
When the Conservation Commission was formed. And I don't
Who's
know.
doing minutes of this meeting? I'm just wondering if
Kelly's going to off recording.
off recording. Okay.
Can they propose a warrant to let them expend? To allow, if they can't
It
already,
might already be in there.
but that can be done, that they don't
I'm
have to
not
keep
sure,
asking
again,
to spend.
the legalities of it,
Yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah.
And I don't remember what year it was.
I think the initial thought process was
I wanna say it was like
self-sustaining.
14, 15.
Yeah, they remember the talk was when we bought the land,
wasn't-
it was gonna take care of itself.
That's
It was
right.
gonna
That's right,
self-sufficient.
that's right.
The name of the fund is the
Conservation Fund.
yes, Conservation Fund.
Now, on the other hand, as far as paying for members, I think they should be able to fund a full board if they were ever to get a full board.
The same thing for the planning board. I just
Yeah.
say, let them overexpend it and we can move money.
Well, to this,
Yeah.
I have to say, to that, it creates. So we do hope to have the boards filled, both of
It'd be
them.
great.
Right, it would be great. Thank you, members. Hopefully, come join. It creates an extra hurdle to then have to, if we did get to overspending, because the budget is actually short of what a full board would
Mhm.
be, to
But you
then,
have other line items to cover it if you don't expend all those.
Yeah, you can dip into them, that's the thing. Now that you,
It's the budget of the whole department. You have the planning board and the conservation fund. If you don't use all the operating expenses, it's the bottom line of your department. If you foresee that going over, then
we have,
no, I think the budget's,
it's not like you
fairly,
have to
it's not a
come in
complex
here either.
budget. Well, that's the
You
thing,
just
is are
send an
we
email
creating
to
extra
Kelly,
hurdles?
she'll bring it to us and we'll vote on it.
Okay. Well, I can speak to the board's support for their original presented budget
Yep.
for these reasons, that we hope to have a full board
Yep.
with that amount of meetings. This is the same thing for the planning board.
Yep.
And board should be funded fully.
Yep.
And we shouldn't then have to go doing this and that to.
And I will say that because history shows that an average of 50% of the proposed budget over the past 3
Well,
or
that's
4
planning,
years,
that's planning board, so we'll get to that.
both of them,
Both of them.
that my vote would be to keep it as the selectmen had voted on.
For the planning board, the different thing is the secretary. There's a little bit extra budgeted for the secretary, me, to get it there
Mhm.
and spend some time dealing with that
Yep.
in the closet organizing. So still to be done,
Yep.
but that was the other thing that has been budgeted but hasn't been spent, basically.
Right. Definitely needs to be done.
So, planning board reaffirmed unanimously, same thing to advise the select board to support the planning board's recommended budget a second time after we got that. So you have the full planning board voting to keep the budget as presented. You have the full conservation commission voting to, I believe, voting to keep the budget as presented. For these reasons, right?
Yep.
We hope to have a full slate, that's the
Yep.
cost, and then secretary doing that, and for Conservation Commission, the forest management plan, which does in turn likely have a timber harvest that comes with it, which does in turn generate revenue, so it should in whole not cost the town a penny.
And let me always say that at town meeting, you could always stand up and say, I want to amend the budget.
Yeah.
And to add,
speak to the people.
and again, yes,
they
it's
can-
another hurdle. However, I feel pretty strongly that I'd like to save the money for the police.
I agree. It's 50% is I mean, I don't.
It's
unless you have a
historic.
Foreseeable
It's historic.
expense.
Yes, I mean, we all want full boards, you know, it's, oh, you can breathe, come on in here.
Oh, and the one other thing about you did speak to the planning board having double meetings. When I first started, they were doing that. And
Yeah.
that was left over from doing the 10-year plan.
Yeah,
The proposed budget for planning board is
Yeah.
just for 12 meetings
yes.
at a full board. It is not for 24
Yes.
meetings.
I'm just saying how
Yeah.
it began, it exploded,
yes.
and then it really.
And there
was
would be a time, and it
absorbent.
is coming up, where master plan will need to be done.
2024.
And so there very likely will be increased expenditure for increased
Mhm.
time.
We will do that in 2024.
Yeah.
What say you?
Well, I mean, historically, it's at 50% of what is
An
proposed.
average.
And so we're trying to pull this money to
Other resources.
get, the police on more patrols because of the issue with Route 16.
Yeah.
And it's something that we
I mean,
can
it's
do for
really-
the citizens.
Yeah, it's really just kind of,
And again, we're not saying that you can't overspend it. You can overspend it. If you got a full board, oh my gosh, that'd be great. I would fully support transferring money
Mhm.
if necessary.
Yeah, we don't want to stop you.
I
from what
wouldn't-
you do.
Yeah.
I'll make it clear that I don't support transferring money for the management plan just because what was said when the property was bought, it was going to be self-sufficient.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, and it should, right? So
it
you're
should.
indicating that there's some balance
Yeah.
from the previous timber
That's right.
harvest. There should be.
And so that should be part of Conservation Commission trying to figure out, okay, how do we make this self-sufficient?
Mhm.
Not that you need anything else on the plate in the Conservation Commission, you got plenty, but
Oh.
just, you know, it was clearly made known that we will not come back to the taxpayers for any further money.
Yeah, I think the money that they had was enough to get them to the next timber cut,
Yeah,
to keep. I
yeah,
think that was the plan that they had
Yeah.
presented at the time. That it was gonna be an ongoing,
I actually think it
was a
may
great
have
plan.
paid for part of the property, if
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah, I
mistaken.
remember that.
Yeah,
but
I
I
can't
know it was a
remember.
great plan.
It was.
And it's a great thing, and it's, I fully support everything
Too.
with the farms and everything else.
All right. That's all I have.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Many other people wish they could be here, but
And
couldn't for various
just a
reasons,
note,
so you're-
local hazard mitigation Zoom meeting, I don't know if you got the
I
email
saw an email.
from Olin.
Yeah.
Okay, next Wednesday at 6. All right, Parquet.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see how badly they want it. Remind everybody that when they start yelling and calling us names, they're on camera.
People coming in.
No, at your next meeting.
Oh,
When you break the news, when you break your news to the.
No, but please explain that, you know, it's
No
It's
one's
not-
calling names. No
it's
one's
not
calling
die
names.
hard, it is just,
No, I do feel badly, but.
we can maneuver the budget.
We're the
Yeah.
agents to expend. so-
We will have the minutes to present to the boards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll have Kelly forward them to you.
Are we going into non-public? Do
If they're here,
we have another? is there
no, we
another
don't.
comment? Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. To Sean.
And I didn't see that letter from Kevin.
You did it?
It's not in the packet.
No, it's not. It was last minute.
Okay.
I think that's it. Should I see if anyone's out there?
Sure. Why don't you see if somebody wants to come in and play? Oh, but we
have
should
to
probably
do
go into
non-public.
non-public first.
Before I even see.
Why don't we go into non-public?
Okay.
Because we've got
So we
nothing
have
else
nothing else.
afterwards.
We gotta talk about it anyway. Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Non-public.
All right.
And then that will be it. We adjourn after the non-public,
Yeah.
so that will be it for him.
So I'll just say that our Our next meeting is going to be January 25th at 5:30 here at Albany Town Hall. With that, I'm going to make a motion to go into non-public session under 91A:32, parentheses C, matters if which discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver or a fee, fine, or other levy if based upon inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. The next non-public is going to be matters if which discussed in public would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. And then number 3, non-public session, 91A:32, parentheses C, again, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person other than the member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based upon inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. And then session number 4 is going to be 91A:32, parentheses A. The dismissal, promotion, compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected has a right to a public meeting and requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. After our non-public sessions, we will be adjourning and there'll be no further business conducted.
Second.
Roll call.
Third.
Jen.
Aye.
Kathy, aye. Kelly,
Aye.
non-public
All right.
at
Sayonara.
6:25.